friends, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Trina, and in today's video, I'm going to be wrapping up all of the anime series, movies, manga, all the works that I have watched and read for the month of September. So the month of September, I actually have a anime watching vlog situation wherein the concept is similar to those in BookTube, wherein they stop their reading vlog once they find a 5 out of 5 stars read. And in my case, since I consume a lot of anime and have a very long list of anime shows to watch in this lifetime, I decided to do the same basic concept. However, I will stop the video once I get a 10 out of 10 favorite that I have watched. So in this case, all of the titles that I'm going to be talking about and wrapping up this video is contained in those two videos. I will leave part 1 and part 2 links down in the description if you're interested. However, I do have 2 other titles that I haven't included in those videos. So stay tuned to watch what those are. In the previous videos that I had, I used this small notebook as my anime watching companion. I don't usually write every day in my anime review journal immediately. So what I do is that I binge watch and then I write a few or a lot of my thoughts here just so I could remember what the anime is about as I give a more concrete review inside my anime review journal. However, this month, since I have the vlog, I only written about probably 5 titles from this, and as you can see, Ascendance of a Bookworm was my first watch this month, so I don't even have anything written here except that one. So I decided to use this as a overview page, so I made just a little spread here just so I could recall at a glance and see all of the titles that I have watched for the whole month, because in this case, it's in my daily writing journal, I list down all of the stuff that I want to watch. However, most of this I don't even get the time to watch. So in this spread, this is like more concise and at a glance on like what, very simple, what my score is for that title, and then the titles there at the bottom, and then here are like the mangas. So I actually, in truth, filmed this video already beforehand. However, it was a chaotic mess, so I decided to refilm this today. Hopefully the construction won't start because we are having home construction today. So I'm just going to flip through a bit in this anime review journal number 5, just so you could see some of the titles, like my previous first 3, I think, titles from the whole vlog for the month of September. It's not included in this because I had a previous one, my anime review journal number 4. I already believe that I flipped through that. I will also leave the link down in the description if you're interested in the flip through of my anime review journal number 4. So now we proceed to this one. So as I said earlier, I categorize all of these based on the score that I have given to these titles. For my 6 out of 10, I have 2, which is Hakata Tonkotsu Ramen and Beyond the Boundary. So Hakata Tonkotsu Ramen is, I think I also hyped this up in my head too much, like a cross-dressing hired hitman who is doing all he can to protect his little sister, and then there's this detective whom the mafia or like these hired hitman organizations are up against because he is trying to like solve different crimes and trying to get them arrested and such. And then there's this concept of a hitman's hitman, wherein this guy is only out or like hired to get with these hitmen who like break the rules and such. It was fine at first. However, when it went on, it is more of like a found family trying to belong somewhere, trying to turn a new leaf sort of situation, and it is kind of underwhelming for my opinion. If they did not put, like, there is a plot twist to this. However, it's kind of a bit obvious if you're into like the crime, organized crime, mystery, detective, or police stories. The pattern of their story is like very not really cliche but predictable, and in my head I was like, if they did not put the plot twist in this, I would have been more disappointed. So yeah, Hakata Tonkotsu Ramen was the first one. Second one is Beyond the Boundary, which one of you actually mentioned to me that I probably won't like this, and you are right. If you're watching this, I very much agree. This gave me the same vibes as it did with The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, only it's not as draggy. So Beyond the Boundary is actually the protagonist is a sole survivor of this exorcist clan, wherein she uses her blood to exorcise demons, and demons are manifestation of negative emotions of like humans. She was tasked to kill a half demon, half human, but she ended up befriending this person and then catching feelings and such. And the ending was pretty much, I was annoyed most of the time because it's like very back and forth. She's very good in swordsmanship, however, she's also very clumsy, so like it's annoying for me. And then some of the episodes are like, not to the point of fillers, but more of like fan servicey. And then, what else? I only liked it at the point like on the 8th to the 9th episode. And then the ending sucked as well. So yeah, I gave it a 6 out of 10 because the animation is still cute. It's very cutesy. I almost thought it was like a magical girl sort of situation as well, but no, it's not. So yeah, it gave me the wrong first impression because I accidentally watched one episode of this like years ago, wherein they were like in like idol outfits, like magical girl idol outfits. So that was my bad. It wasn't actually the theme of this anime. So yeah, 6 out of 10. Next, we have 7 out of 10, 2 more titles, My Home Hero and Magical Girl Ore. So I'll talk about Magical Girl Ore first. It is like our usual notion of magical girl concepts. However, this is more comedy than it is horror. It is not like the Madoka Magica or like the previous magical girls that I have watched, like Magical Girl Side or Magical Girl Racing Project. This is very much comedy, wherein our usual pattern of magical girl anime, they have like a familiar who contracts them to become magical girls, and then they fight evil and help other people basically. But in this case, it's more of a romance aspect, wherein the girl is very skeptical at first whether or not she will accept the contract. Guy she likes got into trouble with these cute demons, and then instead of turning into a magical girl that is very cutesy, very girly, she ended up turning into a man in a cute outfit. That's why it's Magical Girl Ore. Ore being the masculine form of me or I in Japanese. It's very fun. I really enjoyed it. It is like, it gives me similar vibes to my Sarazan Mai reaction, wherein it's very much a trashy comedy. However, the more you talk about it, the more you watch it, like you kind of enjoy it more. So it's like a guilty pleasure sort of anime to watch. Next we have here is My Home Hero. I do have 2 My Home Heroes here because I have watched the anime and also read like the first few chapters of the manga. My Home Hero is about a guy who has a daughter that is a live-in partner of a mafia boss's son, and he overheard this boyfriend was going to kill his daughter. So he bit the bullet, he killed the mafia boss son first. And then it was all like how to get away with murder sort of situation. In the anime, it is very stressful because I was thinking, is he super smart or super stupid? Like, he's very knowledgeable when it comes to covering up a murder because he is a mystery thriller novelist. Like, his sideline is like writing murder books, basically. So he knows what he's doing because he's researched it for his book. And he's like applying this to in real life, wherein he killed this boyfriend of his daughter, and then basically it ended up in a cliffhanger. And so I turned to the manga hoping that it would get better. Turns out I got even more stressed out. I even looped my best friend in here because we are fans of like detective mystery thrillers and also like how to get away with murder situations. However, in the manga, he is like more technical and explains more of like how the science of all of the things that he is doing in this murder scene, and also being very sloppy about it. Like, he has the idea, but the way he executes it is like he is very sloppy when it comes to cleaning the murder scene. So I'm like very stressed out. And if you are like considering this, even though I'm not giving a good pitch of My Home Hero, the people who have watched the anime said that the manga is pretty much better compared to the animated version. and the first series, this whole series, is 50 or 51 chapters into the manga. I have reached like 73 out of the 193 or 4 chapters. So even though I was so stressed out with like the first series here and the first 50 pages here, my best friend actually proceeded further beyond the chapters that I have read already, and she told me that it is even more chaotic near the end compared to like the previous 50 chapters. So if you like chaos, if you like very unreliable protagonist and like questioning whether or not, because we always tend to think that it's always the mafia who is killing people and that they are the bad guys, but this time it's this guy who killed the mafia and is being targeted by everybody. And it's more of the themes of like, you will do everything you can to protect your family, and it only spiraled to even more darkness thereafter. So yeah, my home hero. Those are my 7 out of 10s. Next, we have 1 8 out of 10. This is Hozuki's Cool-Headedness. This is a yokai anime wherein hell is basically a bureaucracy or like business, and Hozuki is the second in command of Lord Enma, and you get to see in this anime all of the different aspects or like the beliefs of like the underworld. You have seen the European underworld, the Catholic underworld, and they also the Japanese and the Chinese ones, and they're all mythical. And you get to see this very much a comedy because Hozuki is an oni. They are known for their temper, and the title is very much an irony on that, and it's very fun. I really recommend this as like a very chill weekend watch if you're interested in like yokai and comedy. It's very good. It's very funny. Next we have here is 9 out of 10. I have 3. The first one being Fate Grand Order Final Singularity. This is the Temple of Solomon, and basically the end to all the Fate Grand Order stories in like the main ones. If you have played Fate Grand Order, the game, this is the last Singularity before the Lost Belt eras, and I have played through this already, so I have expected what will happen, all of the cry and also not cry. It's like very nice to see the game, like you're reading, it's like a graphic novel sort of situation when you read the conversations in the game or like the scenes in the game, and now you could get to see that cutscene in like a whole animated story, and I really appreciated it and loved it. I only give it a 9 out of 10, however, because some of the monster animations are like wonky and like no, but it's really good. So if you're a fan of the Fate series in general, UFO Table, Type Moon, I forgot which one made Final Singularity. It's not UFO Table. It is Cloverworks. Cloverworks made Fate Grand Order Final Singularity. So I love that. Another one that I love is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Diamond is Unbreakable. This anime, or like this part of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is by far my favorite. It wasn't perfect, like a 10 out of 10 in my book, because I felt that in the middle, it kind of felt a bit draggy. Some of the stands of like the minor antagonists are like very gross for me, especially the one with like the saliva and such, or like water, the very first serial murderer that they encountered. And also it felt draggy because they are like showing each and every stand of every supporting character that is in this series. And I understand that it was supposed to like give motivation to the main group of characters in order to fight their final boss. However, still it's fine. I really enjoyed like the final fight. The main antagonist of or the last boss that I called him is actually a Queen reference, and I really love it. So yeah, 9 out of 10 for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Diamond is Unbreakable. And my last 9 out of 10 is The World is Still Beautiful. This is, for me, something that is not typically supposed to be this high. It is a romance. It is about the Sun Kingdom expanding its territory all throughout the world, and it's always sunny there, hence the name. And the king discovered or like knew that there is this island nation kingdom, whatever, that is actually always rainy there. It's called the Principality of Rain, and he arranged that he would be to wed with one of the princesses of this kingdom so that she could bring rain to the Sun Kingdom, because they have never seen or like heard of rain before. They thought it as a myth, and all of the princesses or like the residents of like the Rain Kingdom knows how to summon rain through singing. I really love the song in this. I even have like last song syndrome ever since I watched this. The romance, I don't think it would be anyone's cup of tea, because the king is actually a 12-year-old and the princess is 16, so there's a huge age, not really huge, but there's an age gap there. However, my biases tells me to watch this because the king is like almost, for me, looks like Scaramouche. So there's my particular bias there. And like their romance is very much adorable. Very young but very adorable. And the king is very matured. He is like forced to be mature because all of the traumas he has encountered in like a very young age. So he is like forced to grow up. That's why they say that he is like an old grown man in a kid's body. But that's still, it's adorable. It's nice. The manga I think is finished. I'm not sure, but I have seen photos of the manga of time skips and it's like very nice. So last we have here my 10 out of 10. I have 6 of them actually. We have first Shadow House Season 2. I have procrastinated on watching Shadow House for like 3 months already, but I really loved it. I really love how it has become more intense, because previously it's like only like setting the stage of what the Shadow House is and the people that operates in it. And it's like a coming of age sort of situation for Kate and Emilico and also their friends. This time, the mystery is like bigger. You get to see all of the other like more adult, because the first season is like almost all kids. This time they're growing up. In season 2, however, there are more of like the adults coming in, like the teenagers and such are coming in to watch over them and also have their own plots to this. It's very interesting, very horrific as well. It's very nice. I really recommend Shadow's House. I believe it's kind of underrated, to be honest, because I don't really see it being talked about a lot. So I, for one, recommend it. Next, we have here Kaguya-sama Love is War, Ultra Romantic. I believe this is the 3rd one in the series. By far, the best one I have watched out of all of them. They are still like in the same pattern of like back and forth when it comes to, what do you call this? When it comes to their trying to get the other to confess to them. However, this time they have like a time limit, and then because of course they're almost graduating sort of situation, and then it is more of like a cultural festival, and their cultural festival is stemmed also in like romance and the heart and also confession. It is, as the title suggests, ultra romantic. I really enjoyed the animations and like the scenes, especially the very last episode. So fun. I really enjoyed it, and I know romance lovers and comedy lovers would also love it as well. I will skip this first. Ascendance of a Bookworm is my very first one, as you have seen in like here. I am enjoying this very much as my reaction to this. It is about a girl who is a bookworm, was going to have a job in a library. She basically just loves books and will just read to no end. She would read any sort of book, whether it's fictional, academic, non-fiction, whatever, as long as it is like a bound book with words, she will love it. And she got into an accident and was isekai'd to a medieval place wherein books only exist in like the houses of nobility. Basically, paper is very expensive, and there is like no books because she was isekai'd in a poor family. So what she planned to do was to make her own book by crafting it from scratch. Like she did like clay tablets, papyrus. She also like crafted a bunch of different stuff. Like she's good in basket weaving, she's good in crocheting. She's basically a crafter and a merchant all in one. And her and her friend, I think they were like 6 years old. Like their coming of age is like 6 years old, and they are basically adorable because they are doing all of these crafty adult works and jobs, and also applied to a merchant as a merchant's apprentice. And their small bodies are very adorable when they work. So yeah, I really enjoyed Ascendance of Bookworm. I highly recommend it as well. Next we have is Kimetsu no Yaiba Swordsmith Village Arc, one of my favorites as well. I keep forgetting that Kimetsu no Yaiba is very good when it comes to like their backstory, showing their backstories of both the Hashiras and also the Upper Moons. We're getting into like very much the upper moon battles, and I have already read through the whole manga, even like before the third season came out. I forgot, but I have read Kimetsu no Yaiba years ago, and I really loved it. And seeing it animated and colored like very well is also amazing. And I also like is also very amazing. So yeah, I don't really need to recommend Kimetsu no Yaiba because I know it's very popular, almost to the point of being overrated, but it's not really overrated. It's just good in its own right. That's why it's popular, and it deserves the popularity that it's gained. Next we have here are like, so those were the titles that I have watched for my first and second vlog of September. So we proceed to the two titles that I have not included in those vlogs, which is Hell's Paradise and Bungo Stray Dogs Season 5, which I also gave a 10 out of 10. So in the previous videos, vlogs of mine, I always skip Hell's Paradise. As you can see here, I put this in the wheel like in order of how I listed it here. So look, I have landed Fate Grand Order, Final Singularity. I have also landed in Hazuki's Cold-Headedness, Kaguya-sama Ultra Romantic, and always Hell's Paradise is the one that is being like skipped over. And I really wanted to watch this because I know that I'm going to love it. It is a story about a assassin shinobi, a ninja assassin from, of course, an assassin's clan, Gabimaru, who is like in line for execution. He is on death row, and whatever execution process or style that is being done to him, he just wouldn't die. He doesn't particularly understand or like accept why he won't die. He feels like he's almost immortal, but it turns out as like his executioner tried to understand his situation, she said there is possibly a motivation on why he couldn't die yet, and it turns out he wanted to go home to his wife, something like that. And the executioner granted him like an opportunity to be pardoned by the shogunate if he agrees to go on this mission to find the elixir of life in this like sort of dangerous paradise. They say it's a fruit, and if he is able to retrieve that fruit and bring it back to the shogunate safely, he will be pardoned by the shogunate of all of his crimes, all of his killings, and can go back to his wife. So that's what motivated him. Turns out there's more people or like criminals who are also in death row that were granted this like mission, and each criminal has their own executioner, and they went on this journey. Turns out the island is very much a dangerous place. It looks like paradise. That's why it's called Hell's Paradise. And the themes of Taoism or Taoism, whichever you pronounce it, is very heavy in this. Like all of their beliefs, all of like the energy, yin and yang concepts. It's pretty much all the beliefs of Taoism. And the ending to this, I won't spoil, but I will like entice people to watch if they are not interested in this yet. This is your sign to watch it. The whole premise of this anime is to look for this elixir of life, yes? And if you are a fan of like alchemy, Full Metal Alchemist, or at least watch it, you already know what the elixir of life is made of. However, the plot twist with Gabimaru in the end is a cliffhanger. However, it will make you want to watch more. That's all I can say. It's very much like purgatory in a way, but also like how did it happen and what is like the real motivation of Gabimaru basically. So yeah, Hell's Paradise, 10 out of 10. Bungo Stray Dogs Season 5. Now this is the last one that I've watched, and I have not watched anything else after this for the month of September. It is like my favorite anime of all time, Bungo Stray Dogs. It is a mafia, also a detectives agency, so basically organized crime detective story, only that it is supernatural. The characters are named after authors, and their superpowers are the titles of the books those authors like written in real life. I really enjoyed this one, although this is the most like roller coaster of emotion that I ever had. I have a friend that is also into Bungo Stray Dogs. He cosplays Chuya and Dazai in conventions, like our local conventions. I actually met him when I asked for a photo of with him in a convention wherein he cosplayed as Chuya. And so he texted me the day after the final episode got released, and he was like, did you watch it? Because I don't want to spoil anything if you haven't watched it yet, because he knows that I want to binge watch and like I usually binge watch like a month after. So I was preparing this Bungo Stray Dogs season 5 for my birthday actually, to watch, and I'm also very much afraid of it because they say that Kunikida's scream in the very first episode of the season is so heart-wrenching that you would cry, and I actually did like tear up because it's very much horrifying. But if you have read the manga, you would know that what comes after that, so that's fine. However, this season actually is like the ending to it is like before the manga was even released, the chapter was even released. So the anime came first. The anime showed it first before the manga even released their pages. So like it's a reverse Uno on the animation part to the manga, because mangas are always first. You get spoiled by the manga. This time the manga readers are being spoiled by the anime. But the ending is so unexpected, and it's so I really wanted to watch this for my birthday. It would have been a different like reaction, but I'm still glad that I finished watching it, and I really look forward to the next season. They are already teasing the next season actually, and I feel like it's almost near the end. I could feel the ending is near, and I'm probably going to cry because like this anime I have watched since 2014, so it's a good almost 10 years of this anime for me, and it's nearing the end, so I might cry. So yeah, I highly recommend Bungo Stray Dogs. It's very nice. It could be a draggy anime in the first season, but just power through it. Seasons 4 and 5 is probably my favorite out of all of the seasons because it gets more intense. There's not much like world building in it. It's more of like getting into the main actual villains of the whole series. So yeah, highly recommend. And as I already mentioned, my 2 mangas are here. My Home Hero I already mentioned earlier. The last one is Blood on the Tracks. I have finished reading the 5 chapters that were left from like last month. They have been completely released, and I have finished reading the whole thing. It's to me, I feel like if only I just read through it all together, like in the ending, because after all of those intense manipulative, gaslighting, psychological horror, roller coaster, unreliable narrative situation of this manga, the ending to it, the last 5 chapters, almost felt underwhelming, but in reality it's just like a peaceful conclusion to a chaotic manga, and I really loved it. My final rating for Blood on the Tracks is 9.5 out of 10. So yeah, I really recommend it if you're okay with like there's a lot of trigger warnings here. It is about a mother who is like overprotective and super loving to her son, almost to the point of being very toxic. So it's a very toxic relationship between a mother and a son, and also how that changed like the mindset or like the mentality of the son, his rebellious stage, his toxic stage, and how that sort of love changed or transformed his brain. So yeah, those are all of the anime and manga that I have watched for September. I hope you got something out of this, like a recommendation from me, and something that would add to your list of manga to watch in your lifetime, I guess. So that is it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I will see you in my next video. So until then, guys, take care and bye!